You okay?
Severance's second season has been full of twists and mysteries, and episode 6, titled Attila, only adds more fuel to the fire. After watching the latest chapter of the mind-bending series, it's clear that the show is ramping up the intrigue with its characters and storylines, leaving us with even more questions than answers. So in this video, let's dive deep into some of the biggest theories and predictions that could unfold in the remaining episodes of Season 2, based on what we've seen so far.
Move like that. You have to keep your head still.
Chikai Bardo first up, we have to talk about Mark. In episode 6, Mark's attempt at reintegration takes a disastrous turn. After an unexpected encounter with Helena Egan at a Chinese restaurant, Mark seems more determined than ever to proceed with the process. But as we see, things don't go according to plan. After undergoing an experimental procedure with Rigabi, Mark collapses, convulses, and falls into what seems like a comatose state. Now this opens up a fascinating opportunity for the show to explore Mark's past, particularly his history with Gemma. For those who might not remember, Gemma, Mark's supposedly dead wife, is very much alive. And as we learned in Season 2, she's living under the alias Ms. Casey at Lumon. In the official trailer for Season 2, there's a brief shot of Mark and Gemma sharing a peaceful moment together in a sunlit room, which hints at a deeper backstory that could be explored in the coming episodes. Severance Season 2, Episode 7, title is Chikai Bardo, which may symbolize a pivotal transition between life and death, particularly for Gemma. The theory suggests that as Mark nears completion of Cold Harbor, he could unknowingly be refining Gemma's consciousness. With the accelerating reintegration process, Mark's unsevered state may cause Cold Harbor to collapse, bringing Gemma's death or transformation. Meanwhile, in the plot of the 7th episode, the old romance mentioned could refer to a connection between Mark and Gemma, intensifying their intertwined fates. As they face threats in the present, they could be caught in a liminal state where their pasts and futures collide, blurring boundaries. Could we finally get a flashback episode that reveals how Mark and Gemma met? How did their relationship evolve? And more importantly, what caused Gemma's accident that led her to be taken by Lumon in the first place? These questions have been lingering since Season 1, and with Mark in this vulnerable state, it seems like the perfect time to peel back those layers and explore the past.
MDR, non-negotiable.
Where is Harmony? But Mark's storyline is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's shift our focus to Harmony Coble, who's been noticeably absent from the narrative for a few episodes now. Fans are anxiously wondering where she's gone and what role she's going to play moving forward. I don't think we've seen the last of her, and in fact, I believe Coble could become a crucial figure in the battle against Lumon. Patricia Arquette, who plays Cabell, has teased that her character's loyalty to Lumon will be tested this season. And if we think back to earlier episodes, we've already seen Coble begin to question her unwavering allegiance to the company. After all, she walked away from Lumon in episode 3 for reasons unknown, which could signal a shift in her character arc. Could Harmony Coble become an ally to Mark and Rigabi in their efforts to take down Lumon? It wouldn't be surprising. She's always had a soft spot for Mark. Remember, Milchick even hinted at Coble's erotic fixation with Mark in the earlier episodes. And given the emotional toll Lumon has likely taken on her, it seems like her loyalties might start to lie elsewhere. Coble could very well join forces with Mark to help him fully reintegrate and uncover the truth about what's really going on at Lumon.
Maybe a way for part of Burt to...
Is Burt evil? Now let's dive into another theory that's been brewing after episode 6, Burt's true motivations. Burt has been a mysterious character throughout the series, and his dinner scene with Irving and Fields in Attila raised a lot of eyebrows. There's a subtle yet disturbing moment during their conversation about religion, where it's revealed that Burt's outie has done some questionable things, which led Burt to undergo the severance process. This suggests that Burt might not be the good guy we thought he was. But here's where things get interesting. During that same episode, we see a high-ranking Lumon employee, Mr. Drummond, break into Irving's apartment and discover a stash of documents related to severed workers. This couldn't be a coincidence, especially when we consider that Burt is part of the dinner scene when Drummond makes his discovery. Could Burt still be working for Lumon in some capacity? And if so, what's his role in the company? It's possible that Burt might be an undercover agent or even a member of Lumon's secretive board. This would be a major twist, especially considering his earlier connection with Irving, who we're starting to think of as a kind of secret investigator into Lumon's operations.
The deep end is my point. And Burt, how did you come to be?
Is Irving a spy agent? Speaking of Irving, let's talk about his growing role in the investigation into Lumon's darker secrets. As we saw in episode 5, Irving has been doing some digging into the company, and it's becoming more apparent that he might not be just a regular employee after all. When Drummond finds documents in Irving's apartment related to severed employees, it's clear that Irving has been gathering intel. And then we have that mysterious phone call he makes to someone in episode 5, where he expresses concerns that Lumon is catching on to him. This could mean that Irving is secretly working as a private investigator, trying to uncover the truth about Lumon's practices. His involvement in the Severance program could be part of his larger plan to get closer to the company and its secrets. If this theory holds true, it would explain why Irving was so knowledgeable about the hidden corridors and secret areas within Lumon's headquarters. It would also give more depth to his character, showing that he's not just an innocent employee caught in the web of Lumon, but someone actively trying to take them down from the inside. My favorite character. Next, let's talk about Ms. Huang. She's been a bit of an enigma since her introduction in episode 1, and fans have been theorizing about her true identity. Some believe she's a clone of Gemma. Others think she could be Mark and Gemma's daughter, or even someone who would have been their daughter if Gemma hadn't been taken by Lumon. While these are interesting ideas, I'm leaning towards a different theory. Ms. Huang could be the next manager of the Severed Floor. In episode 6, we see her meeting with Seth Milchick, who mentions her upcoming Wintertide Fellowship, which could potentially lead to a permanent position at Lumon. This is important because it hints at the idea that Ms. Huang might be taking Kobol's place as the new manager of the Severed Floor. Milchick, who's been an inept leader at best, could be replaced by someone who's more aligned with Lumon's goals. If Ms. Huang does become the new manager, it could set the stage for a major shift in power dynamics within the Severed Floor, especially if she brings a more calculated, ruthless approach to managing the team.
I graduate from this fellowship until I have deemed you Wintertide material.
Desperate Milchick now. Let's talk about Milchick. In episode 5, he had a performance review, and in episode 6, we see him actively trying to improve his management skills. However, his way of tightening the leash on the macro data refinement (MDR) team isn't exactly motivating. Milchick has always been a bit of a tyrant, and with the pressure mounting from the higher-ups at Lumon, he's likely going to become even more dictatorial in his approach. We can expect Milchick to crack down on MDR and force them to complete Cold Harbor. This could mean even more tension between him and the team, especially as they grow increasingly rebellious. And if he continues to push them too hard, there could be some serious consequences, whether it's a mutiny from the MDR team or even sabotage from within the ranks. Milchick's desperation to hold on to his position could lead to more chaos on the Severed Floor.
What sucks is that she got to have that and I didn't.
Helena's plan. Moving on, we need to talk about Helena Egan after her unsettling encounter with Mark in episode 6. It's clear that Helena has become fixated on him, but I don't think this is just a simple case of obsession. Helena is the future leader of Lumon, and her actions are more calculated than they might seem. Helena might be keeping an eye on Mark to ensure that he's not doing anything that could jeopardize Lumon's plans. After all, with Mark's innie causing trouble within the company, it would make sense for Helena to monitor his outie closely. This could lead to more confrontations between the two, and possibly even a cat-and-mouse game as Mark tries to outmaneuver Helena's surveillance.
You didn't tell me how to go. You went back to Lumon, right?
Dylan's relationship. Lastly, let's talk about Dylan and his complicated relationship with Gretchen. After their meeting in the Audi visitation suite, it's clear that Dylan's innie and Gretchen have formed a bond, but this relationship could have serious consequences. If Dylan's Audi finds out about the kiss, it could spell the end of his marriage. This could lead to some emotional fallout for Dylan's any, who has already had a difficult time adjusting to his new reality. If Gretchen's affair, or whatever you want to call it, comes to light, it could lead to a permanent separation between her and Dylan's Audi.
Oh my God.
Our nerdy thoughts. In conclusion, Severance Season 2 is setting up a series of revelations and shifts that will reshape everything we know about the show. From Mark's reintegration process and Harmony Coble's changing loyalties to Burt's potential betrayal and Irving's covert investigation, there's a lot to look forward to. As we move into the final episodes of this season, it's clear that the stakes are higher than ever, and the twists and turns are only going to get more intense. What do you think is going to happen next in Severance? Do you agree with these predictions, or do you have your own? Keep sharing it on comment section. Until next time, bye-bye and take care.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.